What I'm going to try to convey today is perhaps a bit unfair. In other words, I don't want this to be seen as a criticism of the commission. I think if anyone takes it that way, I've failed. That is not my mission today. I think instead, my mission is to highlight things that perhaps we all, not just the commission, need to be thinking more about and maybe are not enough aware of. And I'll get into what that is in a moment. But roughly, I think the big message today is this. We as a civilization, and certainly as a country, have been operating under roughly an organizing principle that's about 100 years old when it comes to strategic or major military systems and operational concepts. And that is something called air war theory. And we'll get into what it is, but it's about 100 years old. It was more or less cobbled together after the First World War. It could be, and I think it is the case, that we have to start thinking about a transition to a new organizing principle, and that is new generation warfare. And I'll get into what that is. If you do think that we need to think more about that, it kind of turns upside down an awful lot of what is considered to be respectable opinion. Now, it doesn't mean respectable opinion is wrong. It just means that it needs some tough love and some perhaps additions. I'd say at a minimum. And that's the strong suggestion I'm going to make today in my presentation. With that, I'm going to go forward. Now, the commission was asked to do an awful lot. I would probably say too much. To give you some idea, if you take a look at the law that created the commission, well, they were supposed to make recommendations to the president and Congress with respect to, and this is quite a sweeping phrase, the long-term strategic posture of the United States. I don't know what long-term is. My hunch is it's got to be at least 10 years. And I believe this thing goes out to, I'm guessing, 37. Anyway, 10 years or more, and maybe a lot more. But anyway, long-term could be, well, a long time. That in and of itself should cause pause. And then it was supposed to do a strategic, basically a global threat assessment. Well, my God, I mean, that alone occupies the intelligence community and vast volumes from the Pentagon and everything else. Then it was supposed to perform a detailed review of nuclear weapons policy, strategy, and force structure, as well as, when you say force structure, I guess we should add infrastructure to make the things as well. Then it was tasked to assess the extent to which, are you ready for this, capabilities other than nuclear weapons can contribute or detract from strategic stability. And then there's this definition of strategic stability that would even cause Cambridge to blush because it's quite extensive as to what that is. Then they go into specifics. Please tell us what the role of missile defenses are in America's strategic posture, cyber defenses, space systems, then non-proliferation programs, arms control, diplomacy, and roughly speaking, threat reduction. Okay, that's an awful lot, even for a 2-year, $5 million commission supported by, it looks like, 40 staffers. Having served on commissions, congressional commissions myself, I can say that that's a prescription for probably more than anybody, any commission could possibly do.